and he talking about me. I don't even know this. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I just know he's a British dude. No. I'm not talking about MMA Guru. MMA Guru fat. The nigga need to shut the fuck up and sit down some motherfucking way. Then you ruined it.
It wasn't my fault.
Well,
The goddamn cameraman's fault. I know he's watching this. If you watching this shit, nigga, how could you? How could you? That's what I expected though. It's all good. We gonna figure this shit out.
The deserved most stressful time of his life, where he's probably sitting at home right now, scared to death that he's going to get decades in prison. During that moment, right now, his father, Rampage Jackson, is dating on stream and bowling with them while reading dono messages about the entire situation and giving his thoughts on it and calling people out.
Rampage Jackson's son, Roger Jackson, is in hot water at the moment for his brutal attack on wrestler Syko Stu during a KnockX Pro Wrestling event. The attack almost killed the pro wrestler, but thankfully, he survived, and according to some confirmed sources, Syko Stu has finally gained consciousness. While most of the pros wanted Roger to be arrested immediately, WWE legend Mark Henry surprised many by putting some of the blame on Syko Stu. He said he never liked aggressive ribbing or joking, and if someone crossed that line with him, they got that work. While admitting he didn't know the full story, Henry felt Syko Stu wasn't smart about the situation and ended up biting off more than he could chew. He stressed that people need to be careful who they mess with, and also questioned what kind of example a veteran sets by provoking someone much younger.
I didn't like the ribbing. I didn't like the joking. And anybody that talked to me that I didn't think was worthy of having that kind of aggressive conversation, they got that work. And, I don't know the full story, but I do know what I saw. And it looked like he wasn't smart to what was going on. And the dude that was messing with him bit off more than he can chew. And, you got to be careful, one, who you mess with, and two, what kind of example are you as a veteran for inciting a ride with a kid? And he's not 12 or nothing, but he's still significantly younger.
On the other hand, Rampage Jackson called out MMA Guru during his first live stream since his son's attack, accusing him of racism. He said Guru was supposed to be a journalist but exposed his true colors, adding that in 2025, no one wanted to hear racist remarks about someone's child. Rampage explained that mistakes happen, but they should never be turned into race issues, and suggested Guru likely didn't have kids himself.
It's a lot of ignorant people on the internet. I understand that. It is what it is. The shit don't affect me, don't bother me, but people like MMA Guru, that guy is supposed to be some kind of journalist, and his racism came out. His racism showing. That's, it's 2025, People do in this world. Some people do. It shouldn't get turned into race. Nobody wants to hear a bunch of racist shit about their son, no matter what race they are. He must don't have kids himself.
Rampage Jackson said MMA Guru crossed the line by letting racism slip into his commentary. He explained that he grew up around that kind of talk and instantly recognized it for what it was. While he usually ignores racist messages from random people online, he said it was different when someone with a platform like Guru used that kind of language. According to Rampage, a figure with an audience has a responsibility to stay professional. And now fans will question whether Guru's opinions on black fighters are influenced by bias.
I don't want to repeat what he said, but he said a whole bunch of. He said he showed his racism basically what he did. I'm from the South. The stuff he said, only racist people say. A lot of racist people came forward and said stuff and DM me racist. It don't bother me because I don't care about racist people. But MMA Guru, he has a platform.
Yeah.
And he should say neutral because he's giving his opinions on fights and stuff like that. So now people gonna be watching him when black fighters fight and he say.
Yikes.
You know what I'm saying?
MMA Guru defended himself, saying his criticism was aimed at Rampage's son's actions, not race. He explained that calling someone out for violence wasn't racist and felt Rampage was twisting the situation. Guru said people should be focusing on the seriousness of the attack instead of worrying about names, adding that Rampage's attitude might even explain why his son ended up in that situation in the first place. MMA Guru said, "I call an attempted murderer a dumb animal. Rampage calls me a racist for it. It's 2025. Yes, it's 2025. Focus on the attempted murderer. If so, you've got your failure of a dad and not what names I call him. Your own victim mindset is probably what made your son bullyable by teenagers." Earlier, MMA Guru described Roger Jackson as an animal and said he should be behind bars. He called the assault a vicious act, pointing out that Raja kept throwing punches at an unconscious man as if he was trying to kill him. Guru praised the bystander with pink hair for stepping in, but criticized everyone else for doing nothing. He finished by saying Raja has no place in society and belongs in jail.
Thoughts on Raja doing a classic 13%? I mean, I'm sick of seeing it. Raining down shots and unanswered. Dead people. Like, he's unconscious on the ground. You just slammed him on his head. And now you're throwing 12 unanswered punches over and over again until you're trying to kill him. And the ref and all those in the ring that didn't stomp his out when he was doing that. Bruv, Raja should have got knocked out cold in that ring. No one was doing anything about it but that pink hair guy. Shout out to the pink hair guy for jumping in the ring and trying to stop him at least. Brother, dumb animal, put him in a cage. Straight up. Not a human. Not allowed in society. Control yourself, dumb. Bring that sparring partner back. Tornado kick him again. Dumb animal.
Meanwhile, Rampage also admitted that he felt bad for Syko Stu and made it clear he didn't support what his son had done. He explained that as a father, he still had to stand by his son, but said the situation was now in the hands of the justice system. Rampage admitted he is sad for what his son did to Syko Stu, and made it clear he did not condone his son's actions. He said as a father, he had to stand by his son, but also stressed that justice needed to play out. He explained there wasn't much he could do beyond being a parent and asked people to respect that. He couldn't discuss details. Rampage admitted the incident put him in a bad mood and expressed sympathy for Syko Stu and his family, saying he wished he could have been there when it happened.
You know, it's hard for me to talk about it, but you know, I'm just keeping 100. You know, I feel bad about what happened to Syko Stu. You know, I don't condone what my son did at all. Very, very unfortunate. If I was there, things went that, but you know what I'm saying, I wasn't there. But you know what I'm saying, I'm a father, so you know I gotta have my son's back. But I'm gonna let justice, you know, play out, take its course.
Rampage also made it clear he did not condone Raja's conduct and wanted everyone to know he wasn't defending what happened. He said all he could do was continue to be a father while letting the situation play out. Rampage also expressed hope that Syko Stu could find it in his heart to forgive him as a dad, even if not everyone understood everything about the incident.
Ain't much I can do on that side, but be a father. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know I can't talk about this. I can't talk about any details and stuff like that. I can't really go into nothing. I hope y'all can respect that. You know what I'm saying? I can't say much about this. You know, it's really not my place to say anything, and we gotta let this shit play its course. It put me in like a bad mood, you know what I'm saying? I feel bad about Syko Stu and his family. His family had to see that shit, you know what I'm saying? And you know, all the stuff that went on. I just wish I could have been there, but I couldn't. I was out of state, dropping my other kid off at college.
Furthermore, Rampage Jackson also addresses the criticism after the incident and said a lot of people are showing their true colors with racist comments, but explained there is no way to stop that. He clarified he wasn't defending his son's actions, only speaking honestly as a father. Rampage admitted that sometimes parents are proud of their kids and sometimes they aren't, but at the end of the day, they remain parents. He also shared that he hopes to one day meet Syko Stu, shake his hand, and have a man-to-man conversation.
A lot of racist people showing their true colors and stuff, but you know, all this shit, you can't stop none of this shit. But you know, I'm not, you know, taking up for my son or anything like that. I'm just telling you guys facts, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm doing what any father would do. Is being a father in hard moments like this. Sometimes you're proud of your kids, and sometimes you're not proud of your kids. But at the end of the day, you're still a father. Hopefully, one day I can meet Syko Stu and shake his hand and have a man-to-man with him and stuff like that.
Meanwhile, Matt Brown said there would be no sympathy for Raja if he wasn't Rampage Jackson's son. He explained that the only reason people hesitate is because of Rampage's name, but the footage speaks for itself. Brown noted that Raja kept swinging on a man who was already unconscious, which makes the situation far more serious. In his view, attempted murder or something close to it could be on the table, and he questioned how heavy the charges might get once the cases move forward.
You know, if this was anybody other than Rampage Jackson's son, I don't think there'd be any empathy here at all, but we all love Rampage, and he's the man, you know, and the fact that he's his son, we're all sitting here like, bro, what the f***, you know, and what do we think about this? You know, if it was just anybody else in the world, it'd be like, bro, throw that motherfucker, you know, in the cage and throw the key away, man. And that's probably what's going to happen to him. Like, you know, you say they're investigating, like, well, there's not a lot to investigate. Like, there's a video that shows it pretty goddamn clear, you know, what do we need to investigate here? So, you know, what's he going to get? You know, I don't know what like attempted murder is, but I mean, he was knocked out and punching the shit out of him. You know, I don't know how far they go in there or what the details are to get that charge.
Matt Brown rips into Raja Jackson's actions and said aggravated assault and battery were a certainty, calling it a clear felony with no way around it. He described Raja's attack as a move, arguing that if he wanted to fight, he should have done it fairly instead of blindsiding someone. Brown pointed out that the pro wrestler was preparing for a staged spot when Raja slammed him on his head, and added that the victim was lucky to escape with only a hospital stay given how dangerous the situation was.
Aggravated assault's for sure, battery, you know what I mean? Like, this is a felony for sure, right? I mean, there's I don't think there's any way out of that. So, you know, kind of just is what it is for him now. But like what move, man, you know, like, you want to fight the guy. Like, dude was like, you know, we watched the video right before the podcast here. You know, the dude was like preparing for a pro wrestling style takedown and slammed him on his head. Like, you know, dude's lucky that, you know, they said he's hospitalized, but man, he's lucky that that's all that happened, you know?
However, Rampage Jackson opens up about his son's struggles and reveals that his son Raja hasn't been the same since his mother was murdered. He admitted it had nothing to do with the current situation, but stressed that the tragedy changed Raja deeply. Rampage said he has tried to be there for him, cheering him up and making him laugh, but admitted he isn't a psychiatrist and doesn't always know what to do. He explained that Raja has been distant and trying to act more like a man, which has made things even harder for their relationship.
But this don't got nothing to do with nothing that's going on. But all I'm going to say is that my son hasn't been the same since his mom got murdered. It hasn't, and I know that. And I've been trying to be there for him and, you know, make him laugh and cheer him up and everything, but I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know what to do. And you know, I know my kids. He hasn't been the same with me. Like, he's just been distant from me. Like, he want to be more of a man and more of this. I don't know how to deal with this shit.
Meanwhile, Brendan Schwab also reacts to Raja Jackson's assault and admits he couldn't defend Raja Jackson's actions, even though he wanted to. He said he respects both Raja and Rampage and even spoke with Rampage about it, but after watching the full live stream and clips, he was left with nothing to say in Raja's defense. Schwab called the situation sad, noting that Raja was just getting started, and now all of that is gone.
And I'll be transparent. I like Raja, and obviously I adore Rampage. Me and Rampage have a great relationship. I love Rampage. And it's just by nature, my initial thought was when I heard about this, and I spoke with Rampage, when I heard about this, I went, all right, how can I defend Raja? I look at all the videos, I watched the full live stream and all that. I got nothing. Oh, I can't, you can't defend this. I see this, it's so sad. Because he was just getting started. and that all goes away.
Brennan Schwab said Raja Jackson's future depends on whether the veteran pro wrestler presses charges. He explained that if it's treated as a misunderstanding or part of the act, Raja might avoid jail, but will still deal with massive backlash online. But if charges are filed, Schwab warned it could get very serious, with possibilities like attempted murder or aggravated assault, making the situation extremely tough for Raja.
If this veteran pro wrestler decides to press charges, if that pro wrestler goes, this was a bit or this was a work, and he just thought that's how it works, I'm not pressing charges, Raja's still going to take a lot of heat online, but you're not doing jail time. Then we can figure it out. But if that dude wakes up and somebody's in his ear and goes, dude, you got to make this dude pay. He has to learn a lesson and he presses charges, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Attempted murder, aggravated assault, it's going to be tough. Talking about felony, you know?
Kevin Lee also weighed in on Raja Jackson's assault and said Raja Jackson's actions couldn't be excused, stressing that as a grown man, he needed to face the consequences. He acknowledged claims that Syko Stu may have hit Raja with a bottle earlier, but argued that attacking hours later while Stu was in character performing was completely wrong. Lee said Raja essentially snuck him, pointing out reports that Stu was flatlined and left unconscious for 6 minutes.
I mean, you a grown man, bro. You can't condone that type of behavior, bro. You gotta go lay down for a little bit. We'll get you a good lawyer. You ain't gonna be in there forever, but you gotta go lay down. I get it. He hit you in the head with a bottle beforehand. I get it. He shouldn't have did that. I don't condone that either. But to wait hours until the man was working, which we all understand, he playing a character and he was in character and he working, and then you sneak him, because that's what you did. I mean, you snuck him. He wasn't expecting that, and you, bro. They say dude flatlined and was unconscious for 6 minutes afterwards.
Kevin Lee said Raja Jackson should be sent to prison, stressing there was nothing cool about what happened. He questioned why Raja lacked self-control and let his emotions boil over, suggesting he was likely watching Syko Stu perform and only grew more frustrated. Lee emphasized that this kind of conduct is no place in a civilized society, especially when everyone understands that pro wrestling is purely entertainment.
Dog gotta go lay down. You gotta go to prison, bro. There's no part of that you thought was cool. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around why you thought that was cool and why you ain't got no self-control over your emotions. I get it, you and your feelings. You probably was watching them work and just getting madder and madder. But bro, you can't have that in no civilized society. Like, we all understand what pro wrestling is, don't we?
So that's all we have from today's video, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Share your thoughts about this incident in the comment section and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.